I was at the beach all day yesterday, which was lovely. Perfect day for beaching, I will say. And as I was driving home, our beloved youth director, Janelle, gave me a call and informed me of what happened yesterday on the assassination attempt. And I recognize that some people could actually be happy, and some people could be incredibly distressed. But here's the deal. What we teach is not always easy, because it calls us to be better humans in this world. And the best kind of human steps into every situation with a deeper expression of love and a willingness to reach out to others who are suffering. And what I recognize and know is that the beauty of our country is that we're formed in a democracy where there's various voices. And the various voices from all different angles show up and provide avenues for us to create something greater because of our diversity. But anytime that I celebrate somebody's harm, I'm celebrating that same harm within myself. And if I don't want to be harmed, then I don't want to celebrate anybody else's harm. And so I'm very sad about what happened yesterday. But I do know, as Dawn said, that we're a place where we take what happens and we decide that we're going to step into being better humans. And so whatever's going on, we get to look at it and say, this is all the result of our past behaviors. And we're the people who are going to create a new future. So what kind of future do we want to create? And I want to be in a future where I can be in a place where I can have conversations with people that are different than me, and I can be inspired by that. And so I celebrate the fact that our country was founded on this idea of conversation, of having discord sometimes, but knowing that we're here to discover more about each other. So I'm turning this into an opportunity to recognize again that we're all on this hero's journey. And sometimes it's a collective journey as a country. Who are we collectively? How are we going on to this collective adventure? Sometimes there's that call to adventure, which means something's got to change. That's what the call to adventure is. And whether it's personal or collective, there's a collective call that something's got to change in our country. But you may have that call within yourself, too, on a personal level. Something's got to change. Something's got to change. I titled this talk, If I Only Had a Brain, because I was thinking about the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz, and he was just like, oh, if I only had a brain. Like, he just kept thinking, if I only had a brain, then this would be better. And then he did all these things that showed how wise and wonderful and smart he was. But he kept thinking he didn't have it, but he had it all along. And that's kind of how we are. There's something that we've had all along. We have a brain, actually, but we don't use it in its full potentiality. That's why this whole study of neuroplasticity is an amazing discovery on this planet. See, in our teaching, we talk about how the divine created us as a divine potential. We have infinite potentiality, and we're at choice. Do we want to utilize that potential or not? It's always up to us if we want to. But we have a lot of potential in our brain, too. That was created by the divine. It's a divine creation. Our whole body, everything is a divine creation. And are we utilizing it to the fullest extent possible? Well, neuroplasticity means that our brains can form neural connections and pathways in response to experiences, thoughts, and even emotions. So imagine like a network of roads in your brain, and then you decide to build a bridge from one to the other. Or you're the architect and you're building new pathways where there wasn't pathways before. They've discovered that our brain is completely malleable, it's completely changeable, and all of that is totally possible. And we can create greater cognitive abilities, greater emotional resilience, and we can even use our brains for our own personal growth. So here we are on this mythical journey, the hero's journey. And I was watching this movie, Moana. Have you watched it before? It's a Disney movie about a Polynesian princess. She's a princess. There's a lot of movies about the sacred elders in the story, and then they have the in this case, the daughter. And Moana she gets the same call to adventure. She gets the same call because she discovers that her island home is, the coral reefs are degrading. And there's something happening that's not quite right. There's something that's a little off. And that means she has to step out of her comfort zone, and she's got to listen to the messages from her ancestors and step out into the ocean for the first time. And maybe she was brought up learning how to navigate ships and everything, but going out, away from her family, away from everything she knows, that's the call to adventure. And she does so, and she encounters some difficult challenges, but then she has support and help from demigods and different beings that support her and help her on the journey. Is this starting to become familiar now? Yeah. But the same thing is happening to us as we're going on our journey through life. We are encountering challenges and difficulties. We're noticing things in our country that we don't like, but we want to have a change happen. And within that desire is also the seed of potentiality for the solution to come about. Within that desire is the seed of possibility for the solution to come about. And the more I learn about this, and the more I teach about this, the more I get it on a deep and profound level. I really love the idea of the acorn, or a seed. It's like we're each a seed. When we're born like a seed of potentiality, and then we have the circumstances and the conditions that bring about that growth and that blossoming and that blooming. And it does take more than one person to bring that about. We have to do things together, or we get to learn from mentors and guides along the way. But consider yourself on this epic adventure. They're writing a story right now in the annals of time and space about you. And you get to be the person who's stepping in to that magnificent self. And you will encounter challenges, so-called monsters. They might be your own thoughts and your own belief systems. They might be other people that really challenge you. But that's not because they're there for the detriment of your beingness. They're there for the blossoming of your beingness. Because something within you called forth this idea of who you wanted to be and express on this planet at this time, in this place. This was designed especially for you. So I think about that as I think about the neuroplasticity of our brains. There's a study by Dr. Michael Merzenich. He's a neuroscientist at the University of California, San Francisco. And he discovered that even after our regular development period, after we become adults and the brain is fully formed, that the brain can reorganize itself in response to learning. He says that the brain is not something that comes pre-wired and fixed. It's something that's shaped by experience. So in order to harness this ability, we must adopt a growth mindset, which means that any ability can be achieved through dedication and mastery. Now, I want you to think about what happens when you make a mistake? Or what happens when something doesn't go right? What's the first thing you say to yourself? Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. Somebody in the room raised their hand there. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm that stupid. Oh my God, if I only had a brain, right? And that's the thing, that thing that you keep telling yourself every time you make a mistake reinforces that idea within you, but it's not true. So you need to root out and discover what is that thing? Because that's not serving you. It doesn't serve me, it doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve anybody. You just get to beat yourself up. Yay, isn't that fun? I did that last week, as a matter of fact. I was like, I couldn't sleep because I was beating myself up, and then I came to work in the morning. I was like, I got 3 hours of sleep. I couldn't, because I was beating myself up. Like, really, how did that serve me? Or anybody else? It doesn't. But it made me think, why? Why do I keep doing that to myself? And perhaps I'd like to create a different reality. I really would. Honestly, I would love to have a different paradigm. For when I make a mistake, I go, oh, look, this is a great opportunity for growth. This is a great opportunity for learning. This is a great opportunity for me to reprogram or rewire my brain. What possibilities are available now that I recognize that this is not what I want, so now I have all this world of possibility of what I do want. And then I get to choose what I do want, and anytime I see that habit or behavior come up, I go, oh, thank you for reminding me of who I used to be. This is who I am. And this is who I am. And this is who I am. Over and over and over again until my brain then someday, one day, automatically when I make that mistake, it goes into, this is who I am. But it takes a consistent awareness of ourselves, a consistent practice. Have you ever picked up an instrument that was brand new to you and all of a sudden you can play it? There's been very, very, very few people in the entire universe who can do that. Most people who've played music did not start off knowing how to do it. Most people had to learn this brand new thing and their brains had to be rewired. Maybe it's a new language, maybe it's an instrument. What is the thing that can help you rewire your brain? I would encourage you to challenge yourself. Did you know there was a woman named Arunima Sina? She was the first female amputee to climb Mount Everest. She lost her leg when she was pushed from a train by thieves. And she lost her leg. And so what did she decide to do? I'm going to climb Mount Everest. And nobody had done it before. Nobody had done it before. She had to retrain her brain how to use her whole body in a way that she could support herself doing this very challenging task. And I bet you it took a whole group of people helping her along the way. So that's the secret is you are not alone. You are never alone. You are always fully supported on this hero's adventure. And maybe you don't see the help. Maybe there's just an intention that you say, hey, infinite spirit of all potentiality, can you show me the way? Can you help me go to the next step? And then somebody brings it by to you. So yesterday, I am practicing what I preach, and I did go paddleboarding for the first time ever because I wanted to do something new and different. And I was able to get on the paddleboard. I was sitting down, by the way. I was paddleboarding. I had a great time in Lake Washington. And then I was coming back, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try and stand up, but I'm going to go closer to the shore. So in case I fall off, we're good. And I tried to now. There's a lot of people here that know how to paddleboard, I'm assuming, because a lot of people in this state, there's a lot of water sports. And I came from California, but I did not have a lot of experience with water sports, I'll say that. And I was originally brought up in New Mexico. There's very little water there, just gotta say for myself, okay? Desert girl. So I'm standing I tried to stand on the paddleboard, and the only thing I could think of was like a surfboard, right? So I'm trying to stand on it like a surfboard, which, by the way, does not work. So I fell off immediately, and the friend of mine who brought the paddleboard, she sees me from shore, she's waving at me, and she's like, come here. So I come closer, and she's like, you gotta stand on it like this. So she mentored me. She was mentoring me. She was coaching me. It was like right when I needed it, there she was. She was there offering me help. And so I got up on the paddleboard like this with my feet on both sides of it. And lo and behold, I could do it. And it wasn't easy. I was like shaky, and I'm trying to do this, and I'm bending over it. But after a while, I got better and more confident, and I could do it. But it's like that for us with everything, including our spiritual practices. And the more we do spiritual practice, the more we open ourselves up to the unlimited possibility. So the more you do meditation, or the more you do prayer, or the more you do anything that is part of a spiritual practice, you start opening yourself up to those unlimited options that are available for your life. And it becomes easier for you to tap into them. It becomes easier for you to do new things because your brain is open and available. Because new things are things that you do all the time. New awarenesses you're paying attention to, you're seeing. This is how we're tapping into the infinite potential of our brain. I was like, mind blown. I saw the little image of the little icon in my head. So in order to adapt yourself, you want to challenge yourself. You want to take on new activities, new languages, take on a class. Take on a class. We have classes here all the time. All the time. I would encourage you to sign up for a class. Even if you're like, I have no idea what that's about, I'm going to sign up for it. Do it. Because it will challenge you to do something new in community of support. It will give you the opportunity to find out more about yourself and about others. You know, there was a friend who told me that she had a stroke, and she started playing bananagrams. Anybody ever played that game? It's kind of like Scrabble, and you put these words together, but you're sort of competing against somebody else that's also putting their own Scrabble board together. And she said because after the stroke, she realized that she couldn't think of words very well, or she could think of the first letter, but she couldn't like put them together as well. So she started playing this game over and over and over again, and lo and behold, she was able to expand her awareness of words. She didn't take for a fact that she had lost her cognition, that was going to be like that forever. She just said, I'm going to start doing something about it. I'm going to start playing games that rewire my brain so I could learn how to do this again. We all have those opportunities. So practice makes progress. So the first thing, challenge yourself. The second thing, embrace new experiences. And the third thing is to practice, practice, practice. It's really interesting that there was this, the Polynesian practice of wayfinding. Polynesians did not have navigational devices. They did not have, and so how did they navigate? They navigated by discovering the stars, the winds, the ocean swells. They were able to tune into nature to navigate, to figure out where they were. And when European explorers discovered the Polynesians, they thought it was impossible for this to happen. But yet it was, because they were doing it for years, and they were teaching their kids how to navigate by just tuning in to the nature around them. We as the Europeans relied on something external, and the Polynesians, I'm not Polynesian, relied on something internal. Now I want to tap into that. I want to tap into that awareness, because whatever is possible, one place is possible everywhere. And so if it's possible for them to navigate through their intuition, perhaps we can navigate our lives through our own intuition. Perhaps there's something embedded in us that allows us to tune in to what's around us and guide us forward into the path that we want to have. But you have to choose where you're going. You have to say, okay, well, I have a destination. Because oftentimes people are just kind of floating through life. They're just like, I'll just go over here and then I'll go over here. But there's never like, what's the thing that you're desiring? Maybe I'm desiring a new body. Maybe I'm desiring a new relationship with my body. Maybe I'm desiring a new relationship, period. What is that thing that I'm seeking? And when I choose that thing that I'm seeking, it's also seeking me. And I recognize that I have all the steps in place from the divine available to me to lead me to my greatest desire. That's the secret to what we teach. And that's the secret to neuroplasticity as well. It's already here. I want you to do a little experiment. Just clasp your hands. Now, notice which one of your thumbs are on top. This is your comfortable position. Mine is the right thumb. Okay, now unclasp your hands and clasp them the other way with the other thumb on top. Okay, does it feel weird? Yes. So now what I want you to do is reclasp, unclasp, and so just change thumbs, change thumbs, change thumbs, change thumbs, change thumbs. So right now, we are rewiring our brains. We're putting our brains to a test, and we're doing it through practice. And as we do this over and over and over again, we're starting to train our brain to what is normal. And as we do this, slowly, surely, easily, effortlessly, now what I want you to do is unclasp your hands, clasp it with the non-dominant finger on top. Just feel that again. It feels a little bit different, a little bit easier. A little bit easier. That's it. That's how simple it is. But again, it's recognizing what is the thing that we'd like to change and what's the new thing we'd like to have. And then making our intention on creating that new thing in our lives and knowing that we're not necessarily going to know how to do it the entire way of the process. But that's okay. That's the magic of life. That's the magic of God or source or spirit or whatever you call it. That's the magic of it, is that it is embedded with all of the solutions. And so we get to discover it like we're on a grand adventure. And maybe that's why we chose to incarnate at this time. Because we wanted to be part of this grand adventure. We wanted to be in something that was unique and magical. And so we chose this body, and we chose this family, and we chose this community, and we chose this country, and we chose this planet at this time. You know, there's a saying that says, for such a time as this, this is why we were born. And so whatever you see out there as a thing for you that is not right or good or healthy or well, maybe it's because you are here to bring about that very thing that you are seeking. Maybe you are here to bring about a world that works for everyone. Maybe you are here to bring about a country that is filled with love and open-hearted discussion and understanding of the diversity that's around us. Maybe you are here to be a part of this family, of this community, to bring forth something new. Maybe you are here to be born in this body because you wanted to discover something new about your body, that this body was made to be something even more extraordinary than you first imagined. Maybe you were born for this. Joseph Murphy says, the subconscious mind is a fertile ground, and whatever you plant in that ground will grow there. And so we have the ability to grow. We have the ability to change. And we have the ability to recognize that we are a part of this change. So I would encourage you to create your own hero's journey. I would encourage you to recognize something personal and something collective that you would like to call forth into your own life and into the collective life of this thing we call community. Maybe this thing we call a country. Maybe this thing we call a planet. And I would encourage you to step into that in a way that fully supports your brain in newly understanding and rewiring itself. Because when you do, I think that we're going to create a ripple of personal transformation. I think we're going to create a ripple of love. I think we're going to create a ripple of possibility for this planet. And I think we're going to love what we see. And so I invite you to join me on this journey. I invite you to say, I do have a brain. And boy, does it serve me. Let's pray. I'm so grateful to know that the infinite presence of love and light that is this source that I call God, that it is infused in every single cell of my body. And any place in me that I've forgotten the love or forgotten the light, I declare is reignited, that there is a spark of transformation that opens me up to this love, opens me up to loving myself, to loving my family, my country, my community, my world. It opens me up to love even those who are doing actions that I don't agree with. I know that everything in life is a call to love or a call for love. And so I choose to be the love in this world. And I know that it starts within. And so today I find those places of myself that I don't love, and I start loving them. I love my brain. I love my body. I love every aspect of my beingness. And then I expand that love out into this community, recognizing and knowing the people that I see in front of me, the people who are online, that there's this great global network of love that is expanding and touching everybody in between. And as I see that love, I know that something is shifted collectively that allows us to create a new paradigm. And maybe I don't know what it is, but I certainly know what it feels like. And it feels good. And I know that that possibility is awakened in each and every one of us today. And something about it ignites a new way of being. Something about it ignites a new way of healing. Something about it ignites a new way of listening. So that we can be here together. And we can be that network of love and transformation. And healing right now. And for that, I am ever grateful, and so it is.